Figure 3.10, GradeBook.java. This is our last version of the GradeBook class for this lesson, and the key new feature that we're adding is the ability to initialize the course name variable at the time that you create a GradeBook object rather than having to call setCourseName after the fact. There's a special method that you can define in each class that you create called a constructor that is guaranteed to get called at the time that you create an object of your class and give you an opportunity to initialize the data, the instance variables inside of your class right from the moment that the object is created. This way, as you start to use the object, you know it's already in an initialized state and you don't have to do anything special to start working with the object. So the new feature we're talking about is defined here at lines 9 through 12 in our code. The constructor for a class always has the exact same name as the class. So you can see GradeBook with a capital G and a capital B here at line 9, and that's the same as our class name. Now you can actually define as many constructors in your class as you want, and we'll talk about a concept called overloaded constructors a little bit later in this course. But for now, we'll talk about this one constructor that we've defined that expects to receive as a parameter a string, which refers to the name that we'd like to assign to the course. You'll notice that the constructor is public, meaning the client code that would create an instance of class GradeBook is able to use this constructor. And you'll also notice that there's no return data type specified between the keyword public and the name of the constructor. You're not allowed to use a return type on a constructor because constructors don't explicitly return values. They implicitly are giving you back a reference to the new object that's created. So we're going to show you how to use this constructor in our GradeBook test class in just a moment. But before we do, I just want to show you that this is the same basic class we did in the last example, where we have the instance variable course name of type string. The GradeBook constructor initializes the course name to whatever we pass into the constructor, which we'll show you how to use in a moment. Set course name can also be used at any time later on now to change the course name. Get course name can be used to retrieve the course name, and display message will output our GradeBook's message. Now in our GradeBook test class, the key new feature is demonstrated at lines 11 through 14. In lines 11 and 12, we're creating a new GradeBook object, and we're initializing it with the string CS101 Introduction to Java Programming. Now, by the way, notice this is a single statement that's split across two lines. As long as you don't have a semicolon on the first line, the statement continues on to the next line until we reach the semicolon. Here we're declaring a variable called GradeBook1 of type GradeBook, and we're assigning it the new GradeBook object that we're creating. Now, the thing that we haven't discussed to this point is that every time we say new followed by a class name and a set of parentheses, what we're actually doing is creating an object of the type of the class specified, in this case GradeBook, and calling that object's constructor. The constructor we've been using in the prior examples, when we just followed the word GradeBook with empty parentheses, is what's known as the default constructor. When you don't define any constructors in your class, the compiler automatically provides the default constructor for you and does default initialization on the instance variables of your class. On the other hand, when you define a constructor, then you have the ability, based on what parameters you specify, to pass arguments to the constructor, which is what we're doing here. This string literal, which is automatically going to be turned into a string object for us, it represents the course name that we intend to place in the GradeBook1 GradeBook object. Similarly, we create another GradeBook called GradeBook2 here at lines 13 and 14, and when we say new to create the GradeBook object, the argument that we're specifying here becomes the name of that second GradeBook object. And the nice thing now is that we can differentiate between the two GradeBooks. So for example, at lines 17 and 18, we are outputting the course name for the GradeBook1 GradeBook. So take a look at how we invoke the method here, GradeBook1.getCourseName, versus down here at line 20 where we say GradeBook2.getCourseName. The way that Java is able to distinguish between the two objects is based on how we invoke the method. GradeBook1 refers to a specific gradebook object, the one that contains the string CS101, Introduction to Java Programming, and GradeBook 2 refers to a specific gradebook object that contains CS102, Data Structures in Java. Now when we go to our command prompt and run this version of the gradebook, you can see here that for each one we see the appropriate string being output. In the case of GradeBook 1, CS101, Introduction to Java Programming, and in the case of GradeBook 2, the course name is CS102, Data Structures in Java. All right, so in this example, we were able to show you that at the time we created a new gradebook object, we could initialize the data by providing arguments, and we will use constructors from this point forward to do that with most of the classes we define.
Looking to advance your career by acquiring new skills? Tired of expensive off-site training programs? Wish you could learn from the best instructors in the industry? Look no further than live lessons. Self-paced, personal video instruction by the world's leading technology publishers. Each live lesson comes with a DVD featuring 3 to 4 hours of instructor-led classroom training, sample program code that allows you to work along with your personal instructor, and an example-rich study guide. Live lessons allow you to watch the entire course from start to finish, or navigate directly to any of the individual lessons. You'll literally watch over the shoulder of your instructor as he shows you how to build state-of-the-art applications. Live lessons, the power of the world's leading technology experts at your fingertips. To learn more, visit mylivelessons.com today.